Good.
What? No, you look like you're walking in here, so.
Huh? No, I'll let you use it.
No. All right, I got my pen. Basically, I talked to you on the phone. I just want to go back over everything with you. I think I already got your information, so let's see. This was the only phone for you, the 954?
That's my cell phone.
That's your cell phone?
It's always
Okay. All right, start tell me, what's your role there at the School of Arts and Sciences?
I'm a music teacher.
Music teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my friend is a law professor at FSU.
Which is Ken? I'm sorry,
No,
Jake?
which is Jake, right.
Okay.
And Jake and Dan were talking. It's Dan, right? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Dan Markel, I think it's pronounced, okay. And my name came up because I'm pretty good friends with Jake, and he said, oh, call Stu and talk to him about your concerns or your feeling about the school and what you're, because he works there, so he knows the inside. And so he asked me if I would contact Dan, and I sent Dan a text this morning.
Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I sent Dan a text this morning and said, hey, I'm available to talk anytime today.
When was the first time that you, when did Jake come to you and say, hey, can you reach out to this guy?
It's all text from Jake, so
okay.
I'll give you that. Must have been 2 days ago.
So that was the first time that you had any...
Let's see. Let's see. Oh wait, let's see. Here we go. So it was Wednesday, so 2 days ago.
Okay.
We go over to their house, or they come over to our house to play games, board games.
Jake,
okay. Right? And he said, on another note, can you give my colleague your take on School of Arts and Sciences? His oldest is nearly school age.
Okay, so I guess Dan was trying to roll his kids over there?
Right.
Okay.
It's a lottery system. They got selected. He got called. And
Okay.
I just wanted to know more about it.
Okay.
So I said, sure, let me have his number and I'll call him when available. And then he gave me his info on Wednesday. I guess I was busy yesterday, and I texted him this morning, and
he never initially texted back. It was just a call from him at 10:48. It was the first time you heard from him.
So 9:56. Hi Dan, I'm Jake's friend who works at SAS. Please call anytime. I'd love to answer your questions. Gave him my phone number.
Okay, so that was after you initially texted him, though, and said you could talk anytime.
Right. Well, I told Jake that I would. Oh wait, no. This is I call anytime. Please call anytime. This is the original. This is the whole conversation. With
Okay.
Dan.
And that was okay. So that's this morning.
And that's at 9:56.
Okay.
10:36. He said, "Thanks. What's your name? Because we don't even know each other. I'll try you shortly."
Okay. All
I
right.
tell him my name, and then the "Are you okay?" is after the incident.
Okay, that's 11:01, like you told me earlier, is when you sent it. Okay.
Right. So all I knew about Dan was he's Jake's friend. He's an FSU professor in law.
Okay. All right.
And he has a kid who might get into SAS. I didn't even know, if he was just interested in it or his kid got into the law. I have no clue.
Okay.
Don't know.
Okay. All right. So, and then, all right, sounds good. So go through the series of events after you made contact with him, which would have been, just to confirm, was 10:48 a.m. is when you finally got the call from him?
I'll pull that up. So, yeah. 10:48, he calls me.
Okay.
I guess that's what the green arrow means.
So you talked to him you were on the phone a total of 11 minutes and 39 seconds with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last few minutes were trying to figure out what was going on with the situation.
Okay. And then this is where you try to call him back right at 11?
Right. So, right, he said there's an unfamiliar person in my driveway.
Okay, let's back up.
So let's back up, sure.
All right, yeah, just start from. So
okay, so
when
he
first
calls
called
me.
you. Okay.
I go into my bedroom because my kids are playing in the living room.
Okay.
And We started talking. It was kind of, I could tell he was driving because there was a lot of just extra noise. It sounded like he was on speakerphone in his car driving.
Okay.
We started talking. He said, I didn't even know my wife enrolled them in this school or put them in the drawing, but I found out, and so I went to SAS to talk to the assistant principal, but there was no kids there, so I wanted another person's take who's not the assistant principal, trying to get people in. I said, great. Maybe another time he mentioned that he and his wife didn't seem to be seeing eye to eye and everything.
So it sounded like
his ex-wife.
Okay, she was trying to get him into the school, and he didn't really.
And he just didn't even know that she tried.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, this isn't. I don't want to get in the middle of this, but it's a good school. Blah blah blah. We started talking. Didn't really get to the heart of anything. I was just trying to figure out his situation and what he was looking for in school. He's driving, and then it sounded like he stopped. The extra noise wasn't really there. And he said, hold on a second, there's someone in my driveway that's unfamiliar to me. And I'm pretty sure that's the words he used. And I said, sure, no problem. And he I guess, I don't know what he did. I don't know if he opened the door, got out of his car. I tried to just wait till he said, hey, you back? Or I'm back, And that never happened. I remember 3 events after that point, because I was trying not to, I was just waiting for him to come back. It was a loud sound, which sounded either like a grunt or something. It sounded like a person making the sound, but it didn't sound like a good sound. So my mind immediately went to like heart attack. But I think this guy's pretty young. So I stayed on the line instead of calling an ambulance right away. And so that was one sound. It was a loud grunt, just a loud sound. And then there was a lot of sounds that I couldn't make out. Either that the phone had broken, I thought, maybe it fell out of his pocket while he was talking to this person. I don't know. Lots of sounds. Couldn't make out the words, but there was definitely voices. Could have been the radio, I don't know. I don't know if he was near his car or he had already walked away from it. And then the third sound was heavy breathing, labored breathing. And I listened and I thought, this could be a heart attack. Or, I don't have a lot of experience with these things, heart attacks or anything. But it didn't sound good. And then I started saying, are you okay? Maybe 3 or 4 times. Can I help you? Just different things. And then I decided to hang up. I called back again. It went to voicemail.
So that's 11 o'clock call, right?
Right, that's 11 o'clock, 43 seconds, went to voicemail, I hung up. I texted him, thinking, maybe something happened to his speaker, because I couldn't. But then the labored breathing was very clear, like the phone was like right here, or right here. Just very clear, I could, no question about what it was. Texted him, are you okay? No response. So I went to look up his address because it sounded like he just got home at his driveway. So I went on the Leon County Property Appraisers, typed in his name, found his address, and called the police. I said, I was talking to a friend of a friend I don't really know well. It seems like something happened. He said that there was an unfamiliar man in his driveway.
Did he recall if he said man? Or
No, he did say person. He said an unfamiliar person.
Okay.
My recollection.
Yep.
After, the address is 21 something Trescott.
And you did that by looking up on the property appraisers?
Right. It does a reverse lookup. I can look at the address, and I thought that was the best, tactic to get his address real quick. He was the only damn Markel too, so it really helped. He said on the phone that someone else has already called, and I said, oh good, I hope everything's okay. He said some sort of accident happened, and he said, but thanks for calling as a second call. we'll make sure someone gets out there, or someone's already out there. I don't know when that call was. I'm sure you guys have it.
When did you call Jake and tell him that you thought something? Was it after you called 911?
Yes, I called him at 11:09. I must have called 911 at 11:04 or so. I mean, there's a few minutes between the labored breathing and when I called because I had to look up the address. 911 sounded like someone was already en route, or someone was already there, and I said, "Okay, great. I'm glad because something definitely happened." I called Jake 11:09. I said, "I don't know what's going on, but something's happened to your friend." And I told him we were talking, and all of a sudden there's labored breathing, and it didn't seem like things were okay. So maybe you could check on it, because you're a friend. I'm a friend of a friend. And he said, "Okay, thanks for letting me know." And I remember him asking people. He was at work. Has anybody talked to Danny? I think he said. And they said no, or he wasn't in the office today. And so. And that was the last I talked to Jake. And then Jake texted me, "An officer's going to call me," and then you called me before I even read the text.
Okay.
So I guess he said, I talked to him after. I said, "Yeah, I talked to the police officer." And he said that he'd been trying to figure out what's going on with his friend. And then, I found out more details. There was a shooting on the street.
From the news and stuff, or just from?
Jake told me, he said, "Well, we think he got shot." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't remember hearing a gunshot." I do remember a loud sound. Could have been a gunshot. Could have been screaming at the same time. Who knows?
Okay, and you said, when I talked to you earlier, that when you did hear this loud noise, you kind of referred to it maybe even being like a car door. Do you remember hearing a car door open at any point, or is that just the whole loud noise that you heard all kind of?
I don't know. Initially, I just thought, okay, I'll check on my kids, or I'll go. I have a minute to think about what am I going to talk to him about with the school. But then I realized that something else was going on, and then I started actively paying attention to the conversation. I don't remember him saying any words. In fact, I thought he almost muted the phone to talk to the person because it was pretty silent for a while. Or maybe he left the phone in the car. I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then the voices, you said it's either like muffled or it could have been a radio, you're not sure.
It could have been a radio. They kept going in and out. It was just, I was trying to listen to it because he wasn't answering me, and that's just weird.
You couldn't tell like argument, you couldn't tell there was an argument going on or anything like that?
It sounded like that. And so I heard voices.
Okay.
Could be real people, could be the radio. And then the labored breathing came pretty.
How quick after?
I don't know, between the voices and the loud sound, I don't know which came first. I'm
Okay.
thinking the loud sound came and then the labored breathing.
Okay. What about the voices prior to?
I'm guessing. I
know
really
that's
don't have
fine.
a strong.
Yeah, it's fine. But
I mean,
you think just kind of which way do you think it happened? Do you think it was the?
I'm thinking it was the voices, the loud sound, the labored breathing.
Okay.
But that makes logical sense to me, so it might be wrong. It could have
Okay.
been the loud
Yeah.
sound.
I got you.
But I never heard his voice again.
After he said he saw someone in the driveway, you never.
That was the
that's
last thing he said.
Okay. And pretty much what you would think it was someone's in my driveway that I'm unfamiliar with. Didn't
Right.
allude to male, female, multiple people, nothing like that.
No, it seemed like it seemed more than just someone walking by. It seemed like coming. I don't know how his driveway is, but it seemed like someone coming from the house the way that he was describing. Just not. It seemed suspicious person.
So, and you think he said unfamiliar, some person versus like a vehicle or anything like that? You think it was?
Yeah, I don't remember him saying an unfamiliar vehicle. Just an unfamiliar person in my driveway.
Okay.
So, I mean, depending on where his car was parked, I mean,
He could have. Yeah,
he
he could have been referring to see a car and say unfamiliar person through the car, or it could have been
right. Maybe someone was sitting in it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Okay.
There's no specifics from him. So.
think. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can call up that conversation through Verizon or whatever and listen to the last 5 or 8 minutes of it.
I don't know of any possible way to do it.
Okay. I don't know if, NSA.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I know. There's a lot of things we can do, but
Okay.
usually actually getting a conversation like that, there's no way for
Sure. And I was thinking toward the end, I felt something saying I need to record this, but there's no way to do it.
like when you started hearing the weird stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm like, this is just weird. And then when the breathing came, I'm like, this is,
Yeah.
and then I knew what I did. So.
All right, let me just step out and make sure there's no other questions.
Sure.
They want me to check
course.
on, but I think that's pretty much.
I got you.
All right, man, thanks.
Thank you, yeah.
No, I didn't know anything about it.
This
There's
is
no
not-
murder conspiracy.
Right.
There's no murder.
You're thinking about the fact that the RICO is the organization of the
Yeah, that's what I
crimes.
mean.
No, this is not going to be tied to the Latin Kings in any way.
Okay.
No. You hear anything before we stop?